So, today we'll be discussing the two topics together, that is God and Vedanta. So, let's start with the God. Well, before starting the topic, I would like to tell you that these topics is what we are discussing from the book The Teachings of Swami Vivekananda ji. So, here we'll start with the God. So, Swamiji says that, and he explains that God is not just a theory, but a living truth that must be experienced. So, in this line, Swamiji is trying to give you the definition of God according to him. That is, according to his perspective, God is not only in books, theories, scripts, or scriptures, but he is a living truth and we can definitely experience them. Now, there are many religions in the world, right? There are, you can say, varieties of religion, but the one the one and only, that is Hindu religion, they seek to directly realize God, the one universal soul which is present in all. So that means here, what is it being said is that Hindus have the ability to directly realize the God which is the universal soul and it is present in all. Well, before the topics that I have discussed earlier, in those topics also I have told you that God can be realized, it is present in all. So if you have the ability to see the God within yourself and the ones who are present in and around you, then that is nothing but God. You have realized him, right? Now, God is beyond words and forms and can only be truly known through the inner realization. Yes. So, when you are, when you get that ability to realize your own self, when you know who you are, then of course you know who the God is, right? Just like if you know what are the tides, you have the ability to know what the ocean is. So, the case is totally similar, okay? Tides and ocean, and we are all as human beings and the God. That's totally simple. I hope you've understood this. The entire universe and nature reflect God, and all beings come from and return to Him. So, this is also a very important line here that says that each and every living being which is there in this universe, they all come from the God and they also return back to Him. This is why we, take birth and we also die, because we come here, then we go back to the place where we have come from. Next, God is both personal, that is loving and merciful, and impersonal, that is formless and beyond attributes, or you can say beyond our senses. Whether we call him Christ, Buddha, or Brahman, all are expressions of the same divine reality, right? That is the universal soul, which we call as God. And God is not weak or limited by human ideas. He is eternal, changeless, and pure consciousness. So that is called as God. True faith in God gives strength, freedom, and love. And the highest ideal in the life is to see the God in everything and live accordingly. So, you have seen that in most of the topics, we get the same similar thoughts, the same thing is being explained again and again. And each and every topic is related to the same divine truth, which is God. So, here we have completed this chapter, this topic of God. Next, we'll move on to the next chapter, which is Vedanta. So, Vedanta is a spiritual philosophy that comes from the ancient teachings of the Vedas, which are the oldest sacred text of India. So, as if Swami Vivekananda ji belonged from India, so he knew, most of the scriptures, the texts which were there in the ancient India, and most, one of the most, you can say, the most discussed form is the Vedas. So Vedanta also comes from the Vedas only. The name is being taken from Vedas. And it is the oldest sacred, you can say, the one which is very highly, considered as pure form or pure thing. So it is the oldest sacred text of India. Now the word Vedanta means the end of the Vedas. So this is a very important thing here, that Vedanta actually talks about the summary, or you can say the crux of the topic of Vedas is what we come to know in the Vedanta. It teaches that there is one eternal truth, and that truth is God, or the self, which exists in everyone and everything. So, again, the same topic is being covered here also. It is trying to tell us that who is God actually, or who is He really. So, He is nothing but we ourselves is God. Why? Because here it is being said very clearly that the God or the self in a sense, you yourself, right? which exist in everyone. Yes, everyone has their own self. Yes, and yes, all of the self who are there, on this word, you can say they are all the part of the same thing, which is the universal truth, the God. It says that our true nature is not the body or the mind, but the divine soul called as Atman inside us, which is pure, free, and eternal. Swamiji said, we must not fear God, instead, we are God in our true nature. God is not someone who is like far away, but he lives within everyone. Again, the same line you can say is repeated, all the time they're trying to tell you the main important topic, the thought that you should have in yourself. Swamiji is trying to emphasize this very well, that the God is within you, yourself, okay? And there is no essential difference between a human and a God. So much, powerful. It's a very powerful line. I hope you would be understanding the depth of it. Now, Vedanta does not believe in sin or hell in traditional sense. Like, many people say this, there is sin, there is hell. We go, people go to hell if they are not, they have not done good, you can say, deeds in their life, right? So there are many, you can say, things which people say about. There are many rituals that they follow. There are many things that they believe on. So instead of this, that, there is hell or you can say heaven, instead of saying this, or instead of these, you can say, traditional senses, it says mistakes are just chances to learn and grow. And this is such a beautiful line, that mistakes are just chances to learn and grow, right? If you've made a mistake once, that doesn't mean that you've done a sin or you have done a wrong thing. No, that happens to everyone. You just need to learn from it and grow again, right? And then do not repeat it again, because like it's not the correct way to do it. Yes, so simple and easy. So kindly remember that Vedanta doesn't, you can say, believe on the sin or the hell kind of concepts that people talk about. Vedanta rejects narrow religious ideas, fear, and blind rituals. It tells us to seek truth in the present, the moment, okay? The present moment, you can say. Be fearless, love all, and realize that God is in everything and everyone. So, I hope you've understood about these two topics, that is God and Vedanta. And yes, it's being completed now. I hope you've understood it well. Thank you so much for hearing me till now. And yes, have a nice day ahead.